Okay, next, has the fiscal officer supplied all the information copies to Gatchel and Associates for the following per resolution? Okay, we talked about there seems to be a discrepancy on where we're at with the grant writer. So, can you report to the trustees the outcome of that phone call?
No, I cannot.
Okay. Why don't you make the call?
I can make the call. There's no problem.
CARES Act funding.
Are you speaking of the call that we spoke about earlier?
Yes.
You two? Correct?
Yeah,
Talking to the grant writer?
yeah.
Good, yes. Sorry, Jim.
We do that Thursday.
Okay, CARES Act funding. Ms. Edwards, do you have anything to add regarding this list that's on here for documentation, receipts, invoices, background, encumbrances?
Who made this list? Are you asking me, do I have anything to add to the list?
I guess, have you done some of this, or this is something that we'll put on here?
All document has been completed today, all information is in township records, all receipts and expenditures of goods are in the file. I can give you a summary of everything, that, all the money that's been spent, if that's what you want, but, there's a lot of paperwork that you got signed during the CARES Act for me to make copies. It's too much.
Right. Chief, can you give me just a few minutes? I only got one more question.
Sure.
During this conversation right here.
Do you want me
What has to do with this? So, can I step in? Okay, so in talking about the CARE Act fund, maybe I'm out in left field, but as far as I know, the thing we have left to do is the money that was set aside for Station 59 that never happened. And I discussed in a meeting or two ago that, did I discuss with you that we were going to try to put that towards PPE and
Yes.
clothing for the
Yes.
fire, for the fire guys?
Yes, sir.
So, this is not my department of expertise, so what do we need to do, because it's the end of the year is coming, what do we need to do? Maybe you can help us, Tracy, what do we do, or Chief, what do we, I don't know if you, maybe you come up with a list of 5 size 10s, whatever, number of sizes and whatever.
What amount are we talking about, Mike?
That's 48,000.
48,000.
Yes, so,
We can use that towards the termite gear.
yes, great, but I get that. So we need a resolution, is that what I
You
need?
guys have to vote on.
We have to vote on, so we need to make up a resolution up to, and I'll get an exact amount, you can, maybe in your meeting Thursday, you can, here's how much money we have, Tracy, tell him, here's how much money we have, you look and shop for that kind of money, here's what we can buy, here's what we need for this, give it to us, we'll write a resolution for that up, get this going so we don't lose that money.
I've got the price.
Is
Fantastic,
it only
okay,
from,
okay.
only from one vendor, because I will need the vendor and all that stuff.
Yeah, one vendor.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, I just, thanks for stopping, I just wanted to clarify that before you left.
I'll help anytime.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
Have a good evening.
Yep.
So I guess the end result is we got $48,444 left to spend for the CARES Act. And once that's done, I can close out the CARES Act and it's over with. There's nothing else to be done by anybody at that point. The reports have been completed, we've had quarterly reports to be done, they've been completed. And once that money is allotted, you guys are done with the CARES Act.
Good.
As long as we get it done before December 31st of
Now,
this year.
I think I asked that, spent
Yeah,
or just appropriated?
appropriated.
Okay. We probably do both.
I mean, well, it'd be best to spend it
Yeah,
too,
let's
so-
spend, let's make it a goal to spend it by then. Okay.
Okay, ARP funding trustees, you see the list on here. Do you have any updates regarding the paperwork and the progress with the grant writer? This kind of ties back with, does this tie back with the phone call you and the chief are making?
No, we're making a phone call on the AFG. There's no contract signed to do, but I guess there is a contract, but not, I guess you did, there's a resolution, 21047, for her to do, that includes the CARES Act, for her to manage the ARP funding. I have not done anything on that, but we just got the money in the bank. That's all. I have no other documentation. Yes, we have 2022, 2024 to appropriate.
And isn't it a little bit more,
2022 to appropriate, 2024 to spend.
and isn't it a little bit more particular in what,
Yes,
in what you're gonna spend it on, we've got to be a little bit more time.
but, you know, I haven't been involved in that at all, because it hasn't even started, so. If you guys hired her, so I've stepped back and I'm done with ARP funding because you guys decided to have the grant writer. So anything we have is the money, but I'm involved with the money is sitting in the bank. And that's it, that's all I have.
Okay. Minutes production project. Anything to add to that? Ms. Edwards?
I didn't know I was involved in that. This was, you had a resolution 21-010, not to exceed, to have Lamkey, not to exceed $5,000 to have Lamkey corporate for you do the minutes for 2020. But that's all I know. I didn't know I was involved in that at all.
Okay, follow-up, this looks like RFP questions, that would be Wolf, and he's not here.
What, that's what this says, payroll, human resource, and records storage. Need trustee.
Those are the RFPs. Trustees, do you want to add to the list of what the RFP will be for that, for payroll? There's been discussion on trying to outsource a lot of that HR function. Anything on that, trustees?
Not for me. I'm good.
Tracy, are you gonna handle all the payroll, or are you gonna deal with, paperwork of having them do the work and send you the paperwork? Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're asking, Paycor, I work with Paycor to do payroll, is that what you're saying?
Let's say employees clocking in and out.
Oh, so you're saying time clock?
Yeah.
You guys have to decide on if you want to use time clock. That's something you got, the trustees have to decide. I just do the payroll once you guys decide that. It's not my decision.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda, Ms. Edwards, do we need to schedule an audit meeting, or did you already call that?
Well, you skipped the first resolution, the tax budget, we're gonna just not talk about that tonight.
This paper.
It's not on that one? I got the one he gave us to us Friday. Oh, okay, well, let me look at my folder, because I'm looking at the list of dates Friday. Anyway, the tax budget was what I had first. Okay, so it says request for audit meeting to be scheduled. It's scheduled already. Resolution 21-006 says we have, supposed to have 4 meetings. We missed the first 3, so the last one is November 17th. I'm requesting that we need to have at least one audit meeting this year. So the auditors don't come back and say, where's your audit committee? So that's my suggestion. I don't think I have a resolution for that. I just suggest that you guys consider it, and then I can do a resolution on the next meeting. This is November 17th. So remember, keep in mind we got all those other meetings too. For budget. Which then brings me back to, the tax budget. Before we have the, before we have the budget meeting, we need to approve the tax budget we do every year. Comes from Montgomery County. We need to have that approved so you guys can know what your baseline is to start working your budget. So I was hoping I had give you that in the package the last meeting. I was hoping you guys looked at that and you may have questions. It's the same thing as the estimate. And come February, they'll give you the actual numbers that they're gonna go for the whole year. Still, it can change. But it's at least a better estimate of what we're gonna have our base on. But this is just something, it's just a formality we have to, it's not in your photos.
I think it is.
It's a formality we have to do every year.
It's in with,
Yes,
yeah, it's in
that's
there.
the second page.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yes, so there's a resolution, I just thought you might have some questions. It's just a formality that we have to sign and turn back to the county
Yeah.
so that they know we're agreeing to that, and then they'll give us the actual numbers.
Okay.
So that's all that tax budget is. And since October 13th,
Yeah, I can't do that. So we
October
have, yeah.
13th is next week. When you do that.
Yeah. We have a fire budget scheduled for October 13th. I've had to change the plans up, I won't be able to make it. If we can change that night, we can change that to the 12th or the 14th, day before, day after. I'm not gonna be able to do the 13th.
So you would rather go to a campaign event than discuss the fire budget?
Well, I didn't say what I was doing, I said I had other plans.
Well, I know where you're gonna be, so.
Yes, I would rather do that. I'd rather be in a debate and let the residents be able to ask me questions and be transparent than do the fire budget that might not even be completely finished and can be done another night.
Well, we agreed to that at the last meeting,
Okay,
so
so-
it's up to you whether or not you wanna show up.
So, you guys can have a meeting, because I'm not gonna be there either. I have something that came up after we agreed on the time. So you guys can go ahead and have the meeting, but you'll probably have to have it again. So it's up to you if you wanna have it. I'm just telling you, I'm not gonna be there either.
I'm not gonna be there.
Okay.
Plans, things come up.
Transfer of funds resolution, we gotta have that all cleaned up for tonight's meeting.
Yeah, I need to have that one if possible. I need you guys to vote on that tonight because I can't put in our property tax values unless I have that money transferred into, and then we're gonna be, we're uninsured on funds.
Looks like that's first up in the meeting.
Yeah,
Okay, the 8,800 guys?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the fund codes and everything all
Mhm.
corrected, okay. Looks like, next is payroll items, request to address.
Okay, so, in general, what I want to talk about that is, in general, there's been firefighters that's worked 2 payrolls already, and because of the mix-up and whoever's hiring the employees didn't pass the information to me, I'm not able to get them in payroll, and until that process is fixed somehow, we're gonna have some issues. So there's firefighters who've worked two pay periods already and have not been able to get paid. And the question to you guys is, do you wanna make an extra pay run, which is gonna cost you per pay run, $50 to $150, depending on what things have to be done. Additional, or you can wait until next week to pay them.
And then we have an obligation to pay our employees as soon as possible, even if it's paper checks, they need to be paid.
So whether you pay paper checks or not, you still gotta pay for it because they have to put it in their cumulative, so you still have to run a payroll. So it doesn't matter whether you give them a paper check or you do it in direct deposit.
Well, I agree with you, Jim. You go to work, you're not going to work for your health, but we have a policy and procedure in effect for a stack of papers that need filled out in the hiring process. Why was that not done? I gave a directive to 2 employees to have that done. I'm not sure why it was not done, but to me, those 2 employees need wrote up for not doing what they were asked to do and not doing the paperwork correctly, giving it to the fiscal officer who enters in payroll and get everything paid, and we're not in the position where we are at now. To me, somebody needs wrote it. We as trustees are responsible for these people getting paid. We can't do it because somebody else is not doing a job and they were told to do it, they need wrote up.
And it's not even just that simple. Even when they hire the employee, there's a checklist, and the application there's like 15, 20 items that each employee needs to provide. They've hired these employees without social security numbers, without background check, without driver's license. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure is, not a problem.
Now, are you saying these 7 employees,
Not all of them. They didn't provide, some of them didn't provide driver's license, some of them didn't provide social security photocopies of them. Some of them didn't provide, direct deposit information.
so the chief and the administrator did not get all the information that was needed and based it on you?
Didn't pass it on to me, correct?
Okay.
And it's taken a month to uncover this to this point.
I just got the key, last Friday before last.
Oh, okay.
Do you have, you still don't have everything you need to pay?
No, not of those 7 employees, there's 2 of them that still haven't contacted.
Trustees,
Can I get with you tomorrow and get the information that's needed?
do you understand?
Not tomorrow, I got something else tomorrow.
All right, whatever, let me know, call me when you're available.
Trustees, we need to get this resolved because the way that word spreads through the employees that work at firehouses, if word gets out, we're not paying employees. We'll quit seeing applications in this township.
You're exactly right,
You're
because I've
absolutely right.
already had one employee told me, she said, I'm not going through this.
Well, we've had 2 employees that said they're not gonna report to work until their payroll's set up, so I don't blame them, and we can't fault them for taking
Yeah,
that
we can't,
position.
yeah, because they weren't told, I was told, they weren't told what they needed to do. That's what I was told. So, I guess the question is here is, are you going to, we need to have a resolution or a verbal thing to say, hey, these employees at the meeting, because we need to have that resolved, or do we wait until I talk to Mr. Mann? And by then, you know, we have to make a determination whether they're gonna be paid next pay or paid sometime this week.
What we need to do is make a list of what's needed when a person applies.
Well, we have a list. It's always on each of their folders.
Okay, and then, before we accept it, we should go and check that, and then, if there's something that's not there, we should make.
That is the procedure, that's the procedure, Mr. Mann, but somehow that procedure was not followed. And so I got these folders that had application check and maybe driver's license, and all the other 15 or so items were not checked. Because they didn't have, I went through the folders and that stuff wasn't in there, but they were already on the list. I already had a timesheet form, they had already worked.
Okay, we will make some changes before we get any hire anybody else to make sure that they provide the information that you need in order to pay them.
And again, I guess my question is,
Okay, got it. So then, trustees, do we want to, as far as I'm concerned, as soon as she has the information she needs, we need to cut these people a check, ASAP. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah, they need to check.
We'll take care of that in the regular meeting. We'll do a simple vote. I think we need a record to show our employees that we're not ignoring this issue. Okay, the last three issues on the new business, the chief discussed during his report with us. Trustees, do you have any new business to add to this discussion? We're at 5 till the next meeting. Anybody? Okay, I move to adjourn the work session,
Second.
and we're adjourned at 6:54 PM.